Shabbat Shalom, my Israelite brothers and sisters. So first of all, I want to give all praises to the great I am. Now, I bet you some of you have been wondering, what in the world happened to the seed of Israel? Well, as you know, YouTube shut my channel down, of course, for about 3 weeks. Couldn't post, no videos, no nothing. So, you know how that goes. But y'all know, no matter what they do, they can't stop the gospel from getting out. Y'all do know that, right? All right, but it doesn't matter what they do. They can shut all of YouTube down. It still wouldn't matter. The gospel is going to get out to his people. So you ain't got to worry about that. But just make sure you guys, make sure you get my website, because I'm going to leave it in the description box. So make sure you have that saved in your favorites, because don't be surprised one day you look up and my channel is permanently terminated. Not by me, but by YouTube. If it's only the Most High's will. But we're going to keep going though. Because like I said, it doesn't matter. The Most High's word is not dependent upon some YouTube or social media. The Most High already said that he can raise rocks up to send this message out if he wanted to. So I wanted to talk about some things in the wake of what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. And you all have been seeing the headlines, and y'all seeing these heathen Gentiles just going crazy, especially the Trump supporters. But why is it happening like this and now? Well, brothers and sisters, one thing you got to understand. When our people were strung out on crack, all right, what was the first thing they did? They threw all our people into prison, criminalized us, called us super predators, you name it, everything from A to Z. And nothing was done to help our people. They thought that they were going to take us out all at once. They thought that the crack epidemic was going to be the ultimate nail in the coffin for our people. But they miscalculated. They misjudged because they forgot and didn't realize who we really are. The Negroes scattered to the four corners. The Most High's chosen people, as it states in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. That's something they totally forgot, or they knew. At least the elites, the ones who control all the banks and own all the money, they know. And they still know until this very day. So now, getting back to what is happening now, why all of a sudden, why is it a big uproar amongst the heathen Gentiles? What is really going on with these people? Why are there so many suicides that are happening amongst these people? Why do they feel like they've lost their grip on life? Why do they feel like all their white privilege are just going down the drain? See, there's a reason for all of this, brothers and sisters, because the time is right. You see, when the Most High does things, he does them on time and with a purpose. Now, let me show you what this on time and with purpose means. So let's go to the book of Jubilees. Go to the book of Jubilees, chapter 1, and let's start at verse 14. And it goes on to say, "And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of the other nations for captivity, and for prey, and for devouring." That's happened already, and that's still happening. "And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the other nations." Now, we know for sure this applies to us because there has been no other captivity that scattered us to the four corners. Only the sub-Saharan, which is known as the Arab slave trade, and the transatlantic slave trade were the only ones that scattered our people to the four corners. All the other captivities we were in, we were together as a people. All right, so that's how you know that this is talking about our time. Now, look what it goes on to say, verse 15. "And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments." Have we not done that? We woke up in our appointed times. There was a time where I were caught up in these different religions, worshiping on Sunday, worshiping on whatever, with their different gods and stuff. So now we're slowly coming out of that. Let me read that again. And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments and all my judgments, and will go astray as to new moons and Shabbats and feasts and jubilees and ordinances. So we're slowly getting back to that, but everybody's still on a different agenda when it comes to the feast days. But we're getting back to these laws. That's the point I'm making here. Verse 16. And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the other nations. Now here it is again, giving us the answer. We are scattered throughout the nations. And it says, and after this, they will turn to me from amongst the other nations. You got Negroes that are in South America, Negroes that are in North America. You got Negroes that are in Russia. You got Negroes that are in the Caribbeans. You got Negroes that are in Australia. You name it. Europe. We have Negroes all over the world. All right. And it says, and after this, they will turn to me from amongst the other nations with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength. Do we not see that happening now? And I will gather them from amongst all the other nations. That's still yet to happen. And they will seek me so that I shall be found of them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul. You notice that the people who are waking up, our people who are waking up, some of them are very zealous, very serious. I know I was when I first came into this truth, and many of you were too. Now let's jump down to verse 19, because this is the one I really want to show you. And it goes on to say, and I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Elohim. Now, my brothers and sisters, here's the very important thing we must understand. So prophecy has been filled before our very eyes for this part, as far as us being scattered to the four corners. Now we're in the awakening phase. We're still in the beginning phases. This is the beginning of the end. This is not the end, but it's the beginning, brothers and sisters. That's what you got to understand. So what's happening is that the Most High is he's waking his people up in their appointed times, because many of you were led through different methods of religion until you got to this point of truth. Some of you were caught up in Islam. Some of you were caught up in Buddhism, atheism, what have you. But you eventually, the Most High knew that you were going to wake up in your appointed time. And so you're here now. So many of our people will still yet have to wake up in their appointed time. And that's why, brothers and sisters, you cannot rush the judgment of the Most High. You cannot rush it, because, by the way, no one on this earth that's living has seen the judgment. Now, y'all think what's going on now is the judgment of the Most High? No, brothers and sisters. All this stuff that's happening is just man-made stuff. Earth is just giving out birth pains. But if we live long enough, we will see the judgment of the Most High. The last time the judgment of the Most High hit this earth was during the flood. All right. So the point here is that because we are waking up, the Most High is taking these curses and slowly putting them on our enemies, and getting back to why the heathen Gentiles are in an uproar. Why are they so distraught? Is because when we as a people, when we get back to keeping these commandments and statutes, the Most High said it himself that he would cause our enemies to fall before us. And that's a known fact, brothers and sisters. You cannot deny that. And you can feel it. Now we're not worried nowhere near where we should be, But Zion, we got to strive. We got to continue to strive to get there. Now, let me show y'all that the Most High is not playing around when he says that he will cause our enemies to fall before us if we keep his commandments. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, you got to believe me on this. The word says it. So let's look at JASHER chapter 13. JASHER chapter 13, and let's look at verse 4. And it says, "And now, therefore, if you will hearken to my voice and guard my commandments," you hear that? Guard my commandments, my statutes, and my Torah, then will I cause your enemies to fall before you, and I will multiply your seed like the stars of heaven, and I will send my blessings upon all the works of your hands, and you shall lack nothing. Brothers and sisters, I cannot stress enough how important it is to obey the Most High in his Torah. At least strive to do something, brothers and sisters, because when we ignore this, and see, this is why when you see a lot of our brothers getting shot up in the streets, choked out by the police and what have you, it's because, brothers and sisters, it is what it is. I'm going to say it. You may say that this may sound mean, but it's because these brothers who are being judged like that, being allowed to be killed, they don't have that hedge of protection around them because they're not keeping the laws of the Most High. They're out of touch with the Most High. And that's just a fact, brothers and sisters. It is what it is. I didn't write the word. And so every time we went into captivity was a result of us breaking away from the Most High, breaking the covenant. So therefore, we didn't have that hedge around us. Our forefathers didn't have that hedge. So guess what? We fell to the mercy of our enemies. See, that's what happens, brothers and sisters, when we venture away from the will of the Most High. We fail, we fall, we stumble, and we get killed, we get shot up. And we're at the mercy of our enemies, and they can do whatever they want to us. But when we turn from our wicked ways and come back to the Most High's ways, his laws, commandments, and statutes, I'm telling you, you're going to witness a protection like you've never witnessed in your life. Straight up. Check. So, brothers and sisters, it is vital. It is vital to keep these commandments. Let me say it again. It is vital. It is vital to keep these commandments. Because without them, brothers and sisters, without keeping the laws of the Most High, staying in touch with him, we don't have that hedge if we don't do these things, brothers and sisters. And this is why so many of our people are being killed. They don't have the protection because they're so out of touch with the Most High. And yeah, I feel bad when I see my people shot up in the streets. Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah. But what can you do? You know what I'm saying? So if they choose to stay out of touch with the Most High, maybe they had a chance. Maybe somebody came and tried to tell them about the truth. Maybe they rejected it. I don't know. But I guaranteed you, the word says that when you guard his commandments, he will cause his enemies to fall before you. Now, you can believe that or not. You can believe whatever you want to. But I'm going to believe what the word says. Now that you've seen with your own eyes that if we keep these commandments, if we get back to the ways of the Most High, he will turn the tables. See, the covenant hasn't been broken with the Most High. We're the ones who broke the covenant, brothers and sisters. We're the ones who turned away from the Most High. And that's why we need to get back, like it says in 2 Chronicles 7:14. We've got to turn from our wicked ways and turn back to the ways of the Most High. And we're going to start to see something unprecedented, brothers and sisters, that's going to take place with our enemies. And with that being said, that brings us back to our enemies. Now, I asked earlier, why is it that these heathen Gentiles are so distraught and so just running, fearing for their minds are failing them for fear. And this is why, because the people, the true people, are slowly getting back to the heritage, brothers and sisters. And so now, Trump, his last 4 years in office, and I'm gonna tell you what's up with this, because I did a video some years back about Trump. And now you got to understand one thing about Trump. You know, many people look at him as, especially the heathen Gentiles, they look at him as the great last white hope. Now, what do I mean by that? If you really paid attention to what Trump was putting out over the last 4 years, all the coded white supremacy messages he was sending to his supporters played out to its full extent in the very end. And you all know what happened. They stormed the White House, which was a setup anyway. And so they've gotten to the point, his supporters, and they've gotten to the point where they trusted him so much that they really thought that he was going to bring or make America back what it used to be. Now, let me tell you what they wanted. Let me tell you what the norm for the heathen Gentiles are. The norm for them, brothers and sisters, is for us to be strung out on crack. The norm for them is for us to constantly be selling drugs to our own people, constantly in prison. That's the norm, brothers and sisters. That is the norm for them. To seeing us constantly on our backs, constantly at the bottom of the bottom. That's the norm for them. And so Trump was their last hope. And that's why so much emphasis has been put on this whole thing with Trump and his supporters. And he's been sending out these little codes over the last 4 years. And you saw it finally played out in the end. Now, these people would die for that man. If he were to tell all his people to go kill up a bunch of black people, they would try to do it. It ain't gonna happen, but they would try to. So now you're seeing this major SOS signal going out. The heathen Gentiles, brothers and sisters, are distraught. They are heavily distraught because everything they thought they had, everything they thought they were going to have with this last administration, fell through the roof. Make America white again. Bring it back to it like what it used to be. When they had slaves, when they had free labor, when they were able to do anything and everything to black people, to Negroes. That was the norm. That's what they wanted. Now, they didn't say it physically, they didn't say it, but subliminally, that's what they were saying the whole time. That's what Trump was saying the whole time. So you got to understand that. You got to be able to know how to read between the lines. Their time is up, brothers and sisters. And like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 7, the Most High will put out these heathen nations little by little. So what we're seeing right now is that they are self-destructing from the inside. Now I'm going to give you two simple methods to prove to you that these heathen Gentiles were never supposed to exist on the face of the earth. Or I should say this, non-melanated people. Now, when the Most High created man, he created him out of the dust of the ground, right? Well, brothers and sisters, what color is the dirt? There's no such thing as white dirt, brothers and sisters. The dirt is brown to black. Here's another method to use. Well, if these people were truly created by the Most High, then how come they can't take the sun? Why is it that the sun is burning these people up? Non-melanated people. Why are they being burnt up? And they claim to be getting a tan, but they can't get a tan. They're out there turning red after 20 minutes and their skin is blistering because they were not supposed to be here. Now, I'm not denying that they were created, but they were not created by the Most High. Now, how they came here, some people say from the fallen angels, some people have other reasons. I don't quite know because I don't, but I know one thing. They did not come from the Most High. Whether they were maybe a mutation or a hybrid that was helped, that was maybe aided by the fallen angels working with man, that's a possibility. But it is scientifically proven that the non-melanated people did not exist until 1,000 years after Abraham, brothers and sisters. It's a known fact. So I'm just giving you the facts, brothers and sisters, because they're not supposed to be here. The world at one time was all black. All right. So now the truth is starting to come out. The sun is burning them up. And there's no such thing as white dirt. When the Most High created man, he created man out of the dirt. Dirt is brown to black. But y'all know we don't own the paintbrushes. So, of course, all the pictures you see are going to be white. It's going to represent them. So that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of just break bread with and bring forth to you to get you thinking. Because, brothers and sisters, it's going to get worse over the years. You're going to see them grasp like you've never seen before. You're going to see more suicides. You're going to see them going crazy because they've lost all hope of life now. They see people rising. They see their whole white supremacy, their whole privilege. Everything is just slowly fading away. And they have no idea what to do. Yeah, I see this video. There's a video that's going viral, brothers and sisters. I was laughing so hard at that. There's some white woman. She's actually praying to Trump. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box, but she is actually praying to Trump to save her. Can y'all believe that? Is that what it boils down to now, brothers and sisters? Is it that bad? You got people praying to Trump now? Man. But I guess that's what they're doing. But people are going crazy. People are just losing it. They're losing it. And now I understand when the Bible says their hearts will fail them for fear. And that's what's happening. So, brothers and sisters, this is the time we need to start laboring. We need to start laboring, brothers and sisters. Like I said earlier, this is the beginning of the end, not the end, because there's still a lot of prophecies that have to be fulfilled. The falling of the seals, the trumpets. And when you read those trumpets, brothers and sisters, I don't think you really want to be alive when those trumpets fall. All right? So the only thing we can do is pray and ask, if it be thy will, let it be done. Because a lot of y'all say and think y'all going to be ready for that, but guaranteed you, we're not. That's why we got to be humble and we got to just pray, let thy will be done. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I'm going to close out here and I'll say Shabbat, Shalom, and stay strong.
Gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, yeah, whoa. I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures. to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of life. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahuwah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here are they to keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of Mashiach. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they to keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of the Mashiach.